Today was class number 2, the Americana Armlock and a clinch against an aggressive opponent. Now, the Americana Armlock, I've taken this class 3 times now, and something occurred to me. I've hit this submission more than any other submission in the history of my rolling career, okay? I call it the chubby special, because when you're a bigger person and you can flatten people or you can make people spaz or reach or, flail or whatever, the arm's just kind of there. I call it the chubby special because the Americana Armlock from mount is probably the most high percentage submission I've ever hit. And so I felt pretty good about this one. I felt like I knew what I was talking about. I knew what I was doing, but I still learned something new. Bobby and Zach were teaching the class today. Zach and Bobby are awesome. And they were showing preventing the rollover, preventing getting rolled or preventing getting pulled off when you're in position for the Americana. I never, in all my time of rolling and sparring, I've never put my hooks in on an Americana. Never, not once. Never. Not once. And what's crazy is I took this class at Gracie University twice already, and I guess this is the first time I've heard this. Getting the hooks in and preventing the roll. That was weird, because I knew about the standard variation, I knew about the neck hug variation, but I didn't think about the hooks. So that was something new that I learned today. If you're in Americana position and your opponent tries to roll you off or push you off, you got to use your legs, you got to use your hooks to prevent from getting rolled over or prevent from getting pulled off. And so that was an interesting little addition to what I felt like I already knew. But here's something that's tricky. What's tricky is I kind of have to make a confession. The confession is this. A long time ago, when Gracie University, the CTC in Laguna Hills, opened up, a man named Armin, he's a really cool dude, black belt. He's a chiropractor, Dr. Armin something, I don't remember. But he opened the school, and I went to go check it out. I was at my old Keep Showing Up even back then, and I knew that I was missing something. So I said, let me go over here to this Gracie University and see what they're doing over here. And I went and I trained, and the class that I took was the Americana Armlock. It was taught by, I want to say Dean. Dean now owns and operates the CTC in Long Beach. So I think it was taught by Dean that day, and I learned a ton. As a matter of fact, I learned so much in that class that I was so confident and most confident in that submission. I was more confident in that submission and that move than anything else in my entire jiu-jitsu career, not because of what I learned to Keep Showing Up, but because of what I learned when I tried a class at the Gracie University. That's a weird thing to say, but I just kind of realized that right now. I was like, dang, I first took this class at Gracie Laguna Hills before I ever signed up at Laguna Hills. I'm talking about 2 years ago when they first opened with the previous ownership. And I thought to myself, like, damn, is that why I'm so confident with the Americana? Because even in that class, I guess I'd learned the Americana before to Keep Showing Up, but I learned insights, little specific things like the paintbrush, like doing the spatula underneath. And I mean, I guess I knew it because I'd seen it. Somebody kind of demonstrated it for me, but the logic and the steps, the why behind the what hadn't been explained to me. And so I learned so much in that class, but I didn't switch to Gracie University back then because I felt like it lacked intensity. I felt like it wasn't a fight. I didn't feel tough. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel like a badass. And I felt like a badass at my Keep Showing Up University. And so I kept showing up. And here I am 3 freaking years later, 2 years later, and I'm taking the Americana class in Torrance. And I'm still learning new things because it's broken down bit by bit, piece by piece, with a clear, focused, and easy to understand why. The why behind the what will forever be the most important part of teaching and learning for me. You can show me the move and say, this is how you do it, but I need to understand why. And that's what Gracie University gives me. It gives me the why behind the what. And you know what else Gracie University gives me? Gracie University gives me stripes. I almost called this video second stripe 4 years, okay? Which is weird to say because 4 years to get 2 stripes. But if you watched my previous video, how it took me 3 years to get 1 stripe, I trained at my Keep Showing Up University for 3 years. I left there in April of last year, took about 8 months off, and then I started at Gracie University in December. So, I mean, it hasn't been 4 years. I'm exaggerating. It's probably 3.5, whatever, 3 years, 5 months. But I'd never gotten a stripe before. I've said this before plenty of times. I don't want to rehash it, but Keep Showing Up never gave stripes. Keep Showing Up pretty much just told you to keep showing up and we'll let you know when you're ready. Like, surprise, here's something blue, right? Surprise, here's something purple. And I think I mentioned this before too. In the 3 years there, I saw 3 promotions. In the entire 3 years I was there, I saw 3 freaking promotions. 1 guy went from white to blue. I'm sorry, 2 guys went from white to blue. 1 guy went from blue to purple. Oh, and then our instructor, Greg, went from brown to black. So 4, technically 4. In the 3 years I was there, I saw 4 promotions. And so it was just like the land of freaking despair. Keep showing up, and one of these days we'll surprise you and hand you a new belt. And that's cool. A lot of schools do it that way. And maybe that's just the way you like it. That's not the way I like it. I like clear, methodical progression. I like to know where I stand. I like to know what I need to do to get to the next level. And I like to know how to get there. And Gracie University does a fantastic job of teaching me that. I've talked about that before. So I got my second stripe today. Here's the video. Which is an amazing feeling because it's been 4 years, really 3.5, but 4 years of training jiu-jitsu, and I finally get something that tells me that I'm progressing, that I'm getting closer to my goal. And that is like candy to a baby. It's like crack to a crackhead, okay? Like for me, like I've said, my methodical list making spreadsheet loving self, when you tell me, hey Chris, you've done this, so you've achieved this, and if you keep doing that, you'll get to there, that to me is like Christmas. And so today getting my second stripe was great. It's been way overdue. Obviously I've taken some time off. I've been missing things. I had injuries, I was sick, I had family drama, you name it. There's always something that'll keep you off the mat. But if you get your butt on the mat, if you keep showing up, you will get to where you want to get. And I guess that's kind of funny I said keep showing up, because it's true. If you keep showing up, you'll make progress. But I think it's, how do you show up? Do you show up intentionally with a game plan, with an idea and understanding of what you need to work on and what you need to do to get to the next level? Do you have a clear and easy to understand why? So yes, Gracie University, you still have to keep showing up, but I think it's interesting that when you do show up, you have a clear, easy to understand why. You know where you stand, or you know what you need to do to get to the next level. Like, in no exaggeration, this is 100% true. I'm in the locker room and guys are saying, hey, congratulations on your stripe. I'm like, hey, thanks. And there's a guy, I think it was his first or second day trying the class, and he goes, hey man, why do you have 2 stripes? What does that mean? And I said, well, when you come here, if you come to 20 classes, you get a stripe. You come to 40 classes, you get a stripe. 60 classes, 3 stripes. 80 classes, 4 stripes. And I'm like, so he's like, oh really? I said, yeah. So it just kind of tells you that you're making progress. You're getting closer to your goal. Once you hit 4 stripes, you should be getting ready to get to the next level. And he goes, okay, thanks a lot. And another guy says to me, hey man, when do I get to do the reflex development classes? And since I know all this stuff, I just told him, I'm like, yeah, man, you got to do every class twice. So you do the Americana class twice, the rear naked choke class twice. You got to do the, elbow escape twice. You got to do every one of the 23 classes twice. And then you can go to reflex development. He's like, oh, cool. All right, thanks. I really want to do that. I said, yeah, me too. I'm trying to check all those boxes so I can start doing reflex development by the end of June. And he goes, me too. And I said, okay, I will see you there in July, my man. And so it's nice to have other people that are like on the same path as you, but it's also nice to have a clear, linear, easy to explain, easy to understand method or pathway to get to that next level, to get to reflex development, to get to the 3rd stripe, to get to testing, to get to your combatives belt, to get to your blue belt. It is nice to know where you stand. It's nice to know and to feel like you're making progress, and it's nice to know and feel what you need to do to get to the next level. So now it's onward to stripe number 3. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to hit it, because I don't know. Things happen. Life happens. Things happen. And I don't want to promise something I can't necessarily deliver. But I can tell you that based on my school schedule and based on my everything that I have planned for June, I should be able to get to those reflex development classes by the end of the month. And I'm hoping I do. And if everything goes according to plan, I might have another stripe around that time too. So thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for watching. I hope you are earning your stripes and getting closer to your goals as well. If you don't know much about the Americana, take your butt to class. Keep showing up, but show up with intention. Show up with a clear understanding of what you need to do and where you need to go next. And you too will be successful, right? That's it. Stay focused, stay positive, stay vigilant. See you next time.